Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a very special playoff and season-ending edition of WMCT Sports Wrap. As always, we bring the action of local high school sports into your living room. For those who don't know me, I'm your host, Matt Bisaccio, and today we'll begin the program with the Marlboro girls lacrosse team. They finished the regular season 11-6 with a 7-2 record within the Midwalk C. In their first-round district matchup, they traveled to Grafton to take on the Indians.
12th-seeded Marlboro traveled to face 5th-seeded Grafton in the first round of the district playoffs, looking to pull off the upset. Panther keeper Andrea Rennie made a couple of nice saves early on to keep the Indians off the board. But Grafton broke through with this goal from Avery Henson and kept the pressure on Marlboro all half long. Here, Kaylin Nixon goes with a bounce shot to beat Rennie, and later, Julia Solmazy weaves her way through the D using an array of moves to make it 3-0. The score was 6-0 before Marlboro gets its first goal on this shot from Natasha Santos. And later in the half, Lauren Lefebvre nets the Panthers' only other goal of the half. Both Santos and Lefebvre would finish the game with 3 goals each, but it wasn't enough as Grafton moves on to the quarterfinals, beating Marlboro 14-8.
Not the ending that they were hoping for this season, but their future looks bright as 100-goal scorer Lauren Lefebvre seems to be only scratching the surface of her potential, and that should spell trouble for the rest of the division for years to come. Next up, we head south to Blackstone Valley Tech, where we find AMSA boys lacrosse squad. After an 11-6 regular season, the Eagles earned a 10 seed in the Central West District playoffs. Let's take a look at their first round contest against the 7th-seeded Beavers.
The 10th-seeded Eagles traveled to Blackstone Valley Tech to square off against the 7th-seeded Beavers in the first round of the Central West District playoffs. The home team got off to a good start in the first quarter. They score first as Trevor Harper feeds it to Andrew Vassell, and the midfielder gets it to go. Then with a 2-0 lead, Luke Carey finds Jack Kinsella on the right side, and Kinsella rips it top shelf to give the Beavers a 3-0 lead. AMSA would settle in, though, and keep it close. Before the end of the first, Broderick Sauter gets crushed as he makes the pass inside, but the pass is right on the money as Caden Grinnell finishes from close range to make it 3-1 at the end of one. The second quarter featured just one score as Evan Hardy gets the pass from Hirsch and goes with the bouncer to draw the Eagles within one going into the halftime break. In the third, AMSA keeper Dylan Green made a couple of nice saves to keep the Eagles within striking range. Later, down 5-3, Hirsch this time gets the pass from Starter, and Tom fires it past the keeper to make it a 1-goal game heading into the fourth. The crowd was treated to a good game up to this point, and the fourth quarter would be no different. Up 6-5, Harper nets his 4th goal of the contest to give BVT a 2-goal lead. AMSA just wouldn't go away, though. With 4:15 to go, Hirsch gets it in front and powers through his 2nd goal to make it 7-6. What a game. Okay, let's fast forward. 6 seconds left on the clock. AMSA has possession coming out of a timeout. Season's on the line and they need a score. Hirsch spots Hardy coming off the screen. Evan can't handle it. It's loose in front of the net, but the clock runs out. AMSA's season comes to an end as BVT advances to the quarterfinals, 7-6.
The season ended earlier than the Eagles wanted, but there's certainly a lot to look forward to. The team's only graduating 2 seniors this year, so next year this young group should be poised to make a run at a Colonial League title. Now let's come back up north to Marlboro, where the boys volleyball team from Assabet Valley had one of their most successful seasons in program history. A 16-2 record, Colonial League champs, and a #1 overall seed in the district playoffs. But before their quarterfinal matchup with Nipmuc, we caught up with their coach, Ryan Crowry. They're 16-2. You guys went on a 14-game win streak earlier in the year. I think it stretched from the 5th of April to May 17th, when I was actually here to cover the game against Greater Lowell. Yeah. In that stretch, though, to go back to it, you guys only lost 3 sets over the course of like 5-6 weeks. Yeah. I mean, that's impressive stuff. But when you guys did lose, thinking like in a big picture way, do you think that it was possibly a good thing that your team suffered a loss going into the postseason before something like the pressure of the win streak may have weighed on them unnecessarily?
Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. So when we played King Philip here, that was when we lost back in April. That was a great slap in the face for this team because we have a bunch of new players that have never played volleyball before. Our Jerry McManus, Jeff Hunter, Nick Hudson, all those kids never played before. They come out and they dominate their first game. So then they start to think, maybe I don't have to work as hard at this. A really good King Philip team comes in here. They caught us off guard and they beat us. And it wasn't like a close game. They beat us, man. They handed us a 3-0 sweep. We needed that. Like you said, we ripped off, 14 games in a row, only losing 3 sets. We lost 1 set to Nipmuc, 1 set to Burncoat, and I think we lost 1 set to, I can't even remember. I don't, but that stretch was amazing, and these guys worked so hard. So I think, like you were saying, that's like a wake-up call. We get slapped right before playoffs. We got comfortable. Now it's time to refocus. Friday, the Friday we just had, was our best practice of the year. Our guys were hungry. They're ready for the playoffs. They want to play Nipmuc. This is the team that they wanted. They're like, we've already beat Burncoat twice. We want Nipmuc. So I hope we bring that fire and intensity tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of the players in your team they really want to make amends. Some of those first-year players that you were talking about, because Nick, Jerry, and Jeff, those are all basketball stars that fell just short in that district championship game. So I'm sure that they want to make sure that they leave their mark here at Assabet Valley as champions.
Oh yeah, I know those kids, especially those 3 and Matt Scanlon. Those are kids that we call them like born winners. So like if they don't win, you can tell that taste in their mouth. They're going to be, their whole week is going to be ruined. Those are just the type of kids they are. Jerry McManus hates losing. Jeff Hunter hates losing. You know those kids.
Yeah,
they hate it.
I've been covering those guys the last couple of years, and boy, oh boy, especially a kid like Jerry. He's got, wonderful kid. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and it just shows through his performance every single game that I've covered.
Yeah, so he's one of those kids that really pushes us over when it comes to competition and competing. He's the most competitive kid I've ever met in my life, and he is one of those kids that, like, he can't take a loss. He just can't. He won't. So I think that helps us. Losing in the Vogt tournament, which is when we lost to Greater Lawrence, he was like, guys, this is not how we're going to go out. This cannot be it. And it kind of brought all the guys back together. And I'm really looking forward to this playoff game.
Now, the Knicks and Jerry, Jeff, those are all first-year players,
yeah,
but they're not on the team unless Matt Scanlon joins the team last year as a junior.
That's very correct.
Talk about what he's meant to the program.
Oh, man, Scanlon. So last year, end of basketball season, I went up to Matt and I said, hey, man, I think I'm going to be coaching the volleyball team this year. You're pretty tall. I've seen you get up and you've blocked a couple shots.
Definitely a prerequisite for volleyball, guys.
I was like, man, I think you'd be really good at volleyball. He laughed at first and he was like, I don't know, man. I don't think volleyball is for me. And I was like, come on. And, he was the only one of that whole group that actually showed up because I asked them all. And Matt shows up. He sees a couple of his friends around the team. It helps. He's best friends with Reggie Warren and Silas Diaz. I kind of talked to them, and I was like, we got to get Matt, man. We need 6'6" on our team. We need it. So Matt comes out, and he has an all-star year his first year. And he had so much fun doing it. I coached him in football and basketball, and I think he had the most fun during volleyball. Like, just seeing him with his friends and just being free on the court.
Right.
The pressure is way less for these guys, and I think that helps.
To see the interview in its entirety, go to our website at WMCT-TV.com, click on the video on demand link, and search Coach's Corner. Now let's see if the Aztecs can advance past the quarterfinals as they took on the 9th-seeded Warriors of Nipmuc.
Colonial League champ and 1-seed Assabet Valley hosted 9-seed Nipmuc in the quarterfinals of the D1 Central Mass Playoffs. The Aztecs were looking good in the beginning of the first set. First, it's Scanlon who nails it into the blockers for the winner. Then Hunter rises up and spikes it in for the point. And later, McManus finds some room cross-court to help give AB a 17-14 lead. But the Warriors would hang tough and fight back. The blocker gets the best of Hunter this time around. Later, the serve is too hot to handle for the ace, and with game point, Scanlon has a chance at the net, but he's denied, and the road team takes the set 25-21. In the second set, the Warriors start off strong, taking a 12-4 lead. But AV would battle back and eventually take a 20-19 lead on this point. But the Warriors would have another game point as they take the point and the second set to go up 2-0. With their backs against the wall, AV would take a quick 7-0 lead in the third. But the Warriors weathered the storm and chipped away at the lead as number 8 would get another ace here. Then with the game 16-12, Daniel Paiva would try to dig out this serve, but it rockets straight up to the rafters. That loud noise with the light casing being knocked open. After a delay, we would resume play where AV would take a 22-18 lead late. But once again, the Warriors would hang in there and make their move. They take the point here to take the lead, and then, on game point, McManus can't handle the serve, and the Warriors upset AV and advance to the semifinals, winning 3-0.
Considering the lack of experience on their roster, they had a truly remarkable season. This team brought the program to new heights, and hopefully this will be a jumping-off point that they can build on for years to come. We're heading to the break, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll head to the Diamond to take a look at the playoff runs for Aspet softball and baseball.
I play to be a role model in my neighborhood.
I play to be part of the team.
I play to be stronger than my brothers.
I play to channel my energy in a positive way.
I play because the field is where I shine.
I play to win.
Hi, Aaron. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that affects how your brain works. Know the warning signs. Concussions don't just happen from landing on the ground. They can also happen from jarring contact with another person, like a base, top, or back spot. If you or one of your teammates has the symptoms of a concussion, tell your coach immediately. If symptoms show up after practice or a game, tell your parents. Cheering with a concussion is dangerous and can lead to a longer recovery time. A medical professional can diagnose a concussion and give you a timetable for how much rest you need. A second head injury while you have a concussion can be devastating, even life-threatening. So make sure you're fully recovered before returning. The sooner you see a doctor about a possible concussion, the sooner you can get on the path to recovery. For more information, visit cheersafe.org/concussions.
Welcome back to the 2019 Spring Playoff edition of Sports Wrap. The Aspet Valley baseball team dominated league play in 2019 to the tune of a 13-1 record, earning a Colonial League championship. But before the district playoffs began, they were the 1 seed in the vocational tournament. Here's their first round game versus Essex Tech.
Colonial League champ Aspet Valley took on Essex Tech over at NEBC in the state vocational tournament semifinal. AV jumped all over the Hawks in the bottom of the first. With Smith at third and Juicy on second, Tyler Boucher goes the other way for the base hit. Smith trots in and it's 1-0. Next up, Connor Sherling goes up the middle. That plates Juicy and it's quickly 2-0 before Essex records an out. But AV wasn't done. Dossis comes up and cranks this one over the left fielder's head and it goes all the way to the wall. Boucher scores and it's 3-0. And then they play a little small ball as Austin Stone drops down the squeeze bunt. The runner from third scores easily and the Aztecs led 4-0 after 1. That would prove to be plenty for starter Isaac Wagner. He strikes out a batter in each of the first 3 innings. He gets the batter to swing through it to end the first. Then he catches the batter looking in the second. And again, he gets the swing and miss in the third. In the fourth, the Hawks did have something going with runners at first and second and nobody out. But Dossis puts any thought of a rally to sleep as he turns and fires to third, catching the runner off the bag for the double play. Great play that ends the threat as AV rolls to the vote final, 12-1.
After breezing through Essex, the Aztecs would go on to play Dimon in the Vogue final, where they would trail 6-0 in the third inning. But Aspet scored 7 unanswered runs, capped off by a 2-run single in the bottom of the 6th to beat the Bengals 7-6, and in doing so, they clinched the school's very first Vogue championship. AV would then take care of Millbury 4-0 in the first round of the district playoffs on the shoulders of an incredible pitching performance from Tyler Dossis. He tossed a 68-pitch complete game and struck out 7 Woolies to lead the club to the quarterfinals. 3 days later, Dossis took them out again, this time against the Hawks of Hudson High.
The 4th-seeded Aztecs fell to Hudson last year in the district quarterfinals, so they look to return the favor against the 5th-seeded Hawks. AV starter Tyler Dossis pitched great all season. Today just wasn't his day. The first batter of the game hits it into no man's land. Juicy tries to make a play on it, but it drops and rolls past him, allowing the runner to get to second. A couple of batters later, with runners on first and third, Dossis gets a grounder. AV turns 2, but the runner from third scores to make it 1-0. Hudson would get right back to work in the second. With a runner at second, Anthony Carlman goes the other way with the base knock. The runner from second scores easily, and it's 2-0. After a steal and a walk, number 9 comes up and delivers a single to left. Juicy looks like he has a chance at the plate, but the throw is just late, and it's a 3-run game. The Hawks would tack on a sac fly before the inning was over to make it 4-0. Coach Silk would gather his club at the mound before the start of the third, but AV once again found themselves in trouble. With 2 down and runners in scoring position, Carlman gets another RBI single, this time to left, driving in 2 runners to make it 6-0. Then the very next batter crushes this 1-1 pitch deep to left center field. Carlman scores his second run to go along with those 3 RBIs, and after 2.5, it was 7-0 Hudson. The Aztecs would make some noise in the third. Here with runners at first and second, Gerard lays down the bunt. Person can't get the throw over in time, and that would load the bases for Andrew Smith, who punches the base hit to center. In comes Silva and Casasanto to make it 7-2. Next, Juicy grounds it to short. Smith does a great job avoiding the ball, but Juicy is called out on the close play. The runner from third scores, though, to make it a 4-run game at 7-3. However, the scoring would come to an end for the Aztecs. Hudson starter Tim Person pitched to contact all game, including a 5-pitch sixth, where he induced a couple of routine ground balls, including this comebacker. Then in the 7th, with the Aztecs down to their last out, Smith lines one to second, but Carlman makes the play to close out the 7-3 victory. And for the second year in a row, Hudson knocks out Aspet in the district quarterfinals.
Losing to the same team 2 years in a row in the same round of the playoffs has to be a difficult pill to swallow. But with the vast majority of the team returning, including Tyler Dossis, this team is going to be right back in the mix next year. You mark my words. Now, the last team remaining in the city this spring is the Aspet Valley softball team. After a 13-1 start to the season, they faltered over their last 6, going just 1-5. Despite that, they earned a 4th seed and faced off against Murdoch High in the first round of the Central Mass playoffs.
The 4th-seeded Aztecs hosted the Blue Devils of Murdoch High in the first round of the Central Mass playoffs. Aspet got off to a rocky start in the first. A couple of fielding miscues gave Murdoch runners at second and third when Garcia gets the grounder at second. She decided to go for the runner at the plate, but the throw is well late and it's 1-0. And later in the inning, the Blue Devils strike again with runners in scoring position. This time a flare to right plates both runners, and the road team jumped out to a 3-0 lead after a half inning. AV would counter in the bottom half of the frame as Rachel Raymond comes up looking to get something started. She doesn't get a great punt down, but the third baseman throws the ball over the first baseman's head into right field. Raymond is able to advance all the way to third, where she would later score on a sac fly from self. Then with 2 outs and a runner at third, Atwood helps out her own cause, singling to right center field. The runner scores easily, but Atwood tries for second and is tagged out to end the inning. The Aztecs would then tie the game the next inning when Garcia comes up with Lagatola on third. Garcia lines the base hit to center, and the score was 3-3 after 2. The Blue Devils scored 3 in the first, would have a tough time getting anything else against Atwood after that. She gets a strikeout and a ball out of the zone in the second, then another in the third with the fastball. Another K in the fourth to end the inning, and to end the fifth, she induces a grounder that Self takes care of easily. Coach O'Brien and his squad would work the Murdoch infield in the bottom of the fifth. Raymond lays down the leadoff bunt single. Then, after a steal and a sac bunt to advance Raymond to third, Grenier also drops one down for the single. Grenier then steals second to set up second and third for Self, and I'm guessing by now you know what's next. That's right, another bunt. The first baseman can't handle the flip from the pitcher. Raymond and Grenier both score on the play, and the Aztecs take a 5-3 lead. Murdoch would have 2 at-bats left to try and tie the game, but AV wouldn't allow it. In the 6th, freshman Maggie Hoffman catches the runner at first napping. Garcia applies the tag that kills that rally. Then in the 7th, Atwood finishes what she started, striking out the final batter of the game, giving Aspet the 5-3 win as they advance to the district quarterfinals to take on Oxford.
In that quarterfinal contest against Oxford, the Aztecs were down 4-1 going into the bottom of the 7th. With the season on the line, Aspet rattled off 3 hits to load the bases. Then an error, a fielder's choice, and a walk tied the game before Bella Lagatola walked in the winning run to give the Aztecs the 5-4 walk-off win that sent them to the district semifinal where they would take on Hopedale, the team that sent Aspet home in last year's semifinals. Let's take a look at what happened this time around.
Coming off their walk-off win against Oxford, Aspet looked to advance to the Central Mass Final, but standing in their way was number 1 seed Hopedale. AV's Alexis Atwood got into and then out of trouble in the first. After loading the bases, she gets the strikeout to keep the Blue Raiders off the board. In the top of the second, Coach O'Brien's club would strike first. Olivia Garcia sneaks the grounder past the pitcher. Kaylee Self comes home and it's 1-0 Aztecs. Hopedale would counter in their half of the frame. Sophomore Carly Smith turns on the pitch and smokes it past Lacanian left, and the ball rolls all the way to the fence. The runner from first comes around to score on the double as Hopedale ties the game. AV would avoid the big inning, but Hopedale does scratch across another run here on the sac fly as they led 2-1 after 2. Let's move ahead to the fourth with the same score. AV's Mackenzie McBree at the dish with Self on third. Smith tries to pick Self off the bag, but the throw is off target and goes into left. Self scores her second run of the game, and it's a 2-2 game. But Hopedale's next time up showed why they're the number 1 seed. Starting pitcher Bianca Fitch laces this shot to the warning track in right center field, and she'd end up sliding in with a triple to start the inning. Then after a couple of walks to load the bases, Rowie Murphy bloops a single over the head of Self at third. 2 runners come in to take a 4-2 lead. And again after loading the bases, Kathleen Maloney hits a routine grounder to Self. Instead of getting the out at first, he tries to catch the runner off the bag, but the throw gets by Grenier, allowing the runner to score from third to make it a 3-run game. Then a couple of batters later, with the game 6-2, Lena Swift hits it up the middle just outside of the reach of Grenier for the base hit. 2 more runs come in to score as the girls from Hopedale took a 6-run lead that would essentially put the game away. For the second straight year, the Blue Raiders end Aspet's season in the district semifinal as they win 13-3 and advance to the district championship.
Although they were beaten by the better team in Hopedale, you have to give these ladies credit for being able to make it back to the district semifinal for a second consecutive year. That's no small accomplishment. Now they'll be graduating 7 seniors though, so Coach O'Brien has his work cut out for him heading into next season. And with that, we say goodbye for the summer. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in this year, and congratulations to all the student athletes from AMSA, Aspet Valley, and Marlboro High. Good luck to all the seniors moving on to bigger and better things, and for everyone else, we'll see you starting back up in September. For WMCT Sports, I'm Matt Bisaccio, and we'll see you next time on WMCT Sports Wrap.